Hello friends, I hope everyone is fine. In this video we will talk about osteoporosis, which is a bone disease. First of all, let's see what is the definition of the osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a combination of two words. One is osteo. Osteo means bone. Osteo mean bone, and porosis mean to have pore or porous. So that means the bone, when it is more porous, we call it osteoporosis. For that we will have to see what is the normal structure of the bone grossly. If we have a look at the bone, it comprises of one outer part which we call the compact bone. This is a compact bone, and inside the compact bone is a sort of a spongy part. It's like a sponge. So that part is known as the spongy bone or spongy portion of the bone. Spongy bone. So outer one is the compact bone and inside of it is the spongy bone. Normally what happens, there are two types of the cell which are working in terms of the bone growth. One is the osteoblasts, and other one is the osteoclast. Now osteoblasts, these are positive cells in terms of the bone. Why they are positive? Because they are increasing the mass of the bone. These are bone developing cells. And osteoclasts, these are negative cells for the bone. They cause the resorption of the bone. They decrease the mass of the bone. They eat up the bone, and osteoblasts, they make the bone. Up till the age of 30, or you can say ranging from 20 years to 45 years of age, normally our bone keeps on growing. Osteoblasts, they are more active as compared to osteoclasts. But after this age, or in the presence of certain risk factor, osteoclasts are more active and osteoblasts are not that much active. So there is a resorption of the bone, and when bone gets resorbed, then what it becomes? It becomes something like this. It decreases in mass or size, and there are many holes in the spongy part. So bone matter decreases inside the bone, but these empty spaces, they increase. That is why we call it the osteoporotic bones. Osteoporotic bones are bones with less bone mass, are bones with less bone density. So this is known as the osteoporotic bones. What is the downside of having osteoporosis in your bones? Because it makes one vulnerable for the occurrence of the fractures, even with the trivial injury. Some people, they even when they sneeze or they just fall from the sitting position, they have fracture of their particular bone, which I'll talk shortly. But because osteoporosis can lead to fractures, so that is why it is important to recognize this problem, because it's a silent disease. Always suspect that osteoporosis may be present if someone is having, or someone has got certain risk factor. What are those risk factors which puts someone at a higher risk for the development of the osteoporosis? Risk factors. Increase age. If someone is old, then person is more vulnerable to develop osteoporosis. Female gender. Female are more prone to develop osteoporosis, especially post-menopausal. Are those who develop early menopause. or someone who have developed amenorrhea at an earlier stage. So age, female gender, thin body. If someone has got body mass index which is very low or less than 25, then person is prone to develop osteoporosis. Smoking is a risk factor. Smoking is a risk factor. Having higher consumption of alcohol puts someone at a higher risk of development of the osteoporosis. Glucocorticoid use. Glucocorticoid use will lead to osteoporosis more than the normal people who are not consuming glucocorticoid. Inactivity. If someone is not physically active, then person is prone to develop osteoporosis. What else puts someone at a higher risk of development of the osteoporosis? Like hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism is a risk factor, or hyperparathyroidism. Hyperparathyroidism is also a risk factor for the development of the osteoporosis. And lastly, if someone is hypogonadism in male, if a person is sexually has got these problem in their organs, hypogonadism in the male, then these person are at a higher risk for the development of the osteoporosis. What are the clinical features of the osteoporosis? It's a silent disease. Majority of the people, when they visit their doctor, or somehow they develop a fracture with the trivial injury, with the subtle injuries, then it will come to the light that the person is suffering from osteoporosis, because when these people have their lumbosacral MRIs, then vertebra in the lumbar region may be having a fracture, but there will be no symptoms prior to that detection, or when these people fall, they have fractures. What are those bones which are more prone to develop osteoporotic fractures? These are number one, lumbar vertebra. That is these vertebra, they develop fractures, compression fractures in a person who is suffering from the osteoporosis. Then hip joint, especially in the elderly. Hip joints, when a person say this is neck of femur, this one, this is femur, it's a long bone, and it's in the acetabulum. So hip joint gets fractured after a fall, not from greater heights, but person may fall from the sitting position and then develop fracture of this region. Then the doctor may suspect that probably the male or female, whosoever the person is suffering from the osteoporosis. And majority of these patients are elderly, because they cannot outstretch their hands, they haven't got enough energy, they cannot outstretch their hands, and they fall on their hips. But if some young person who's like more than 50 years or even less than 50 years, and after a slight injury falls with their outstretched hand and develops the fracture of the, if someone develops fracture of the radius, then we may suspect that this person may be suffering from the osteoporosis. Now, on the thumb side, you have got your radius bone, and this is radius, and this one is ulna. And this is the wrist joint where a person develops the fracture, which we call the Cooley's fracture, when someone falls with the outstretched hand. So these are three most important positions where an osteoporotic person will develop the fracture. Now let's talk about the diagnosis, how to diagnose these patients. Now let's talk about the diagnosis, how to diagnose a patient of osteoporosis. The most important test in this context is DEXA scan. DEXA scan, what is DEXA scan? It's an X-ray technique which is used to know the density of the bone. We call it dual energy X-rays absorptiometry, also known as bone scan. What is the aim of doing the DEXA scan? It's an X-ray technique. You don't need any particular preparation for this test. What this scan will tell us? It will tell us whether the bone is denser one or the density of the bone is less, like in this case. So there is a difference between these two bones. This is a lighter one, this is the denser one, and this DEXA scan will tell us about the density of the bone. Every particular bone, like hip bone, radius bone or vertebra, these will have a T-score which tells about the bone mineral density. So these specific bones will have their specific T-scores, and these T-scores are, you can say, if this spot is the normal T-score, this is the T-score of a 30 years old person who has got strong bones. So, and deviation from this standard will be the one to diagnose whether a person is suffering from osteoporosis or not. For example, any score which is between -1 to -2.5 is known as osteopenia. Osteopenia. This is not osteoporosis. This is something between osteoporosis and normal bone. Normal is above -0.1. This is 0. This is, say, -1. This is -2. This is -3. This is +1. This is +2. So anything above -1 is normal. Anything between -1 and -2.5 is osteopenia. Penia mean less, osteo mean bone. But anything which is less than -2.5 will be known as osteoporosis. All those people who fall in the category of osteopenia will need to have this DEXA scan repeated in 6 months to 1 year, and to also correct those causes which can help in the development of the osteoporosis. So you need to get rid of those things like having too much alcohol, you need to avoid smoking, those kind of things, which I'm going to talk in a while. So this is osteoporosis is anything in the T-score which is less than -2.5. So this is how we diagnose osteoporosis. Other than this, we can have other tests. For example, these are obviously non-specific: serum calcium, serum vitamin D level, parathyroid hormone level, T3, TSH level. If a person is suffering from hypergonadism, then may need like follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, estradiol, testosterone, or there may be some other non-specific reasons to be ruled out by doing these non-specific tests. But the specific test for osteoporosis is the DEXA scan or bone scan or dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. So once the person is diagnosed, only those patients are treated who have got the score within the range of osteoporosis rather than osteopenia. Let's talk about the treatment. So let's talk about the treatment of the osteoporosis. How this problem is treated. Treatment. First of all, we'll talk about the non-pharmacological management. A category is the non-pharmacological. In the non-pharmacological category, you will ask the patient not to lose weight, not to lose weight. If possible, then person should do the weight bearing exercise. Weight bearing exercises. Quit smoking. Reduce the amount of alcohol intake. Try to increase those foods in the diet which contain calcium and vitamin D. This is very important to maintain level of the calcium and vitamin D in the body. Avoid taking glucocorticoids. Avoid steroids. So these are all non-pharmacological or lifestyle modification which can help in the management of the osteoporosis. What is the drug treatment? If we talk about the category B, which is pharmacological management, pharmacological treatment. On the top of it will be bisphosphonate. Bisphosphonates. For example, alendronate, ibandronate, resdronate, zoldronic acid. So all of these are bisphosphonates, and how they act on the person or the bone. They are taken up by the osteoclasts, and once inside the osteoclasts, they make them dysfunctional. So it indirectly increases the bone mineralization, but it should be taken with a lot of precautions. It should be taken empty stomach as per advice of the doctor, and nothing should be eaten for half hour to 1 hour after these medications. These are the bisphosphonates. Second category is parathyroid hormone analog. Parathyroid hormone analog. Teriparatide. One of the famous drug is teriparatide, and this is a parathyroid hormone analog. It helps in the management of the osteoporosis. Third one is monoclonal agent. What are those? Denosumab. MAB mean monoclonal antibodies. So these are also a very important part because these act on certain factors, RANKL factors. These are nuclear kappa L ligand factor. So these are activators of these specific factors in the body. This is a monoclonal antibody. It's also given after certain, subcutaneously. It's given subcutaneously after every 6 months, you can say. And lastly, in the pharmacological management, we also give SERM. What is SERM? This is selective estrogen modulator. So it's a selective estrogen modulator, and what's its name? Raloxifene. It's also given in the management of females who are postmenopausal. They haven't got any estrogen, and then estrogen regulation modulator is given. Selective estrogen regulation modulator, which is a raloxifene, is prescribed. So this is pharmacological management of the osteoporosis. So guys, this is concept of the osteoporosis, that this is a porous bone disease. It makes someone's bones quite brittle and very easy to break. even after a slight trauma. For example, if an elderly person sneezes, even then can cause the fracture of the osteoporotic bone. The most important locations where the bones they have fracture, these are vertebra, especially in the lumbar region. It may be the hip bone like neck of femur, and it will be the radius in the wrist, which we call the Colles fracture, because if an elderly falls, the chances are he or she will fall on the hip because there is not much energy to outstretch the hand. But if a young, relatively middle-aged or young person who is suffering from osteoporosis falls, then he or she will try to get hold of the something with the outstretching of the hand and will land on this hand. So this is Colles fracture. Risk factor are inactivity, physical inactivity, consuming too much alcohol, cigarette smoking, and having deficiency of vitamin D and calcium. All those females who are either postmenopausal or they are amenorrheic, because they do not, this way they will not have any estrogen. So these are risk factor of development of the osteoporosis. The most important test is to get DEXA scan. Can anyone get the DEXA scan? All those people who have strong risk factor are the females who are older than 55 years, and the men who are older than 65 years of age should have their DEXA scan. And based on the scoring of the DEXA scan, it should be decided whether they need to repeat it after some period or not. And based on the results of the DEXA scan, your doctor will decide if you need only the lifestyle modification to stop the development of the osteoporosis in the future, or you need some medications, because even after a fracture and you are diagnosed as a osteoporosis, then you need to avoid the next fracture. I hope it makes some sense. If you like the video, press the like button. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, subscribe it, and also share the video if you think it can help someone else. Thank you so much for watching the video.